Hey guys, welcome back to New to Homesteading. My name is Ray.
Hi guys, my name is Dora. Today is Wednesday, May 20th, 2026, and we got some good rain, I believe.
We sure did, and we were actually getting wet out there.
Yes, we got wet.
We're picking up some trees, fruit trees, and it was just one of those times that you're like, is this the right time to go do this?
Well, you have to do things out here.
We were already driving to the location, and then it just starts pouring.
Yeah.
So yeah, but we got what we needed, and we got it accomplished. Dora and Joe unloaded it while I went back to work. So it's good. So that was actually for our land to go start actually planting fruit trees. So, guys, as you see the title, Man Attempting to Be God. Hit that thumbs up, share this video, subscribe, follow. We need your help. We need all the help we can get from you guys because, like I said, we are being shadow banned, blocked, algorithms. I mean, you name it. Like I said, I can get on my Facebook and my personal Facebook that I use for engine stuff, and my stuff doesn't come up on our ministry.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just that's just the way it is, including on YouTube. It's the same thing. So today we got some videos that some of them are going to be really long, but it's to show you that man truly is attempting to be God. Man is trying to play God. Man is thinking that they can do things that God does. They're thinking that they can create. They're thinking they can control creation. Oh yeah, want to tell you that they believe they can control creation. The other ones are actually acting like they can reproduce and do what God does. If you go back to Scripture, what happened when that was going on? Go back to it and read it. It's never a good thing. We're going to share some things that are going on around the world as well. Some things to look not forward to, should I say, but some things that are just going to come and there's no stopping it. As we mentioned before, AI is going to take a lot of jobs. It's going to be difficult to get work, to stay employed. That's why I say you're going to have to learn some different skills. Why do you think we decided to go do our own concrete? Things that you can pick up as you're going, things that you can learn to benefit you. You're going to have to start doing it. I'm sorry, but we have our dog down here playing.
It needs to get out.
So let's go ahead and get started then. Let me see. Where do I want to start? Okay, well, I'll start at this. If you give me number 5, these are things that, like I said, things that are going around the world. We're going to share first, and then we'll share what man is attempting to do, and just the things that they say. Well, we'll get to it as we do it. But on this post, as you see into it, is laying off 17% of workforce. Is that?
Yeah,
17.
Yeah,
right.
It is. It's 17%.
My daughter wrote it, so I'm like, okay, I guess we need to go back to school. So it says Intune is laying off about 17% of its workforce, or about 3,000 employees worldwide, to streamline operation and sharpen focus on its key bets, including its AI efforts. Right there, it just told you what it's doing. AI is going to take over 3,000 employees.
Right. That's what's replacing the 3,000 employees.
Yeah, think about it. AI, you have a robot that can work 24/7, nonstop. The only time it has to is to recharge. But according to them, they have it where you can even connect it and it continues to do it if it's a conveyor belt and it's just doing production. Other AI systems that they have in place is the algorithms that it can do everything online for you. Here's a kicker. When I had talked, or actually I was texting, because now you have these businesses that say you can text the automated, instead of making a phone call, you can text. You can email, you can call. So I decided to text. Let me see. And I text, and it was a conversation back and forth. It was pretty quick. And then I asked, what is your name? Well, How did it respond? I'm AI automated, something like that.
Auto-generated.
Mm-hmm. So I was talking to AI and it was responding quickly with the price, everything that I needed, asking for the address where to ship it, and so on. They didn't need a person to do that. So that, in other words, that took someone's job already. We've been trying to warn people, and I was actually having a conversation with my coworker today, and I even asked him, "Are you prepared for what's coming?" No, we haven't done anything. Why not? I've been telling you and warning you for years, and yet you still don't do anything because you're focused on other things that it's not going to matter. Yeah, well, I need to get to it. Well, that's what you said last time. So, how prepared are you? We're not. Exactly. So, it's just things that you're not going to be able to help people that are not willing to take the advice.
Or to help themselves.
Or to help themselves. Yeah. Yes. So, let's keep going. Well, in fact, I'll show you right now a video. If you can give me number 8. Now you can see this, what we're talking about. And people are so intrigued. So, in fact, we forgot we're going to show you another video that we actually took of a robot that's traveling. In fact, somebody already kicked it. They already have a picture of the person that kicked it. And they're having a $1,500 damage report for, I'm sorry, but it's a machine. You're going to kick it and you're going to cost $1,500 damage? I don't think so. It's metal. It's metal. But they're looking for that person to charge them for a crime and $1,500 worth of damage for kicking it. So number 8.
No.
Give our food order to a very special worker. This is the Family Mart convenience store in Beijing. Inside is a Galbot robot. The dominance of AI. Beijing is trying to lead the way in AI and also in humanoid robots. Let's go inside. This is the first of its kind for this kind of interaction. If you want to order something, hello, can I get a sausage, please?
Okay. 烤肠, 8.8 yuan.
This is the first of its kind, moving a little slow, but Galbot is actually in 50 different pharmacies, warehouses, handling 300,000 orders around the country. This is the first of its kind here, and they say there are going to be many different iterations. The question is, it's the same thing that the U.S. is dealing with. Will this replace human workers? Youth unemployment is increasing here, so there's a real big back and forth about how far this goes. But clearly, China wants to lead the way in this interaction. Thank you so much. Special report continues after this.
So after this gentleman is reporting, he doesn't realize either that his job is about to be taken because it doesn't take much to report the news. All he has to do is read a script.
Oh, yeah.
All he has to do is do what he just did, and another robot can do the same thing that he just did. It's there. In fact, you see AI actually taking over even the acting, the actors.
Yes.
Because they can generate all that and do it on their own. So let's keep going. If you can get me number 3, and then I want you to see this because this was posted on there, and this is something that has been talked about, has been discussed, and then on some of the things that you get on there, and you just get on the comments, and it just shows you. You can get on the comments on this one here, and it shows you where people are at today. They don't want to believe it. They want to be in denial. Some are saying that they are preparing. Others are saying they don't need to prepare. So on here it tells you roughly 10% of the population is projected to survive a complete year-long grid collapse. The most commonly cited estimate for this 90% mortality rate stems from the Congressional EMP Commission report. Look where it's coming from, which evaluated cascaded infrastructure failures rather than direct casualties from an initial event. So this is showing you that the first few weeks without power, modern water pumping stations and distribution systems fail, causing critical shortages, just-in-time supply chains empty grocery shelves within days. That is one of the things I was discussing with my coworker today. I said, okay, if the power grid goes out, you do understand that the water system is not pumping to your house anymore. So what do you have ready for water? Do you have stored water? Do you know how to make water? So we had that discussion. Do you have supplies? Do you have medical supplies? Do you have food? You know what his response was? His response was, do you know that a man can fast longer than a woman?
No, you can.
You know, I sat there and I let him talk, and I was looking at my computer and doing some work, and I just let him keep going because I was like, okay, that's his response. So after he finished having his long spill of the fasting part, I turned around and looked at him and I said, okay, so your plan is to basically starve, and then your wife's turn is to starve, and then it'll be your kids' turn to starve because y'all are taking turns who can fast longer. So you're putting yourself and your family in position to have a rough, difficult, long-term life where you shouldn't have something like that. You should be preparing, stocking up. And I explained to him, why do you want to go through all that instead of saying, you know what, let me go ahead and start getting prepared. Make it as easy as possible. And you can ration.
Mm-hmm.
You can say, you know what, instead of having 3 meals a day, we're going to have 2 meals a day.
Yeah.
Instead of having all these snacks, we'll just have 3 meals a day. And we won't be snacking like we do all the time. There's ways to do things where it's still comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just saying, well, we're going to fast for 40 days. He mentioned something about fasting for 100 days, that this gentleman did it for 100 days, fasting. He probably wasn't able to move after all. He probably lost all his strength.
Yeah, I was going to say, okay, great that you can fast. That's awesome, you can fast. I mean, everybody's done it at some point or another. The thing is that you're going to commission yourself out. You're commissioning yourself out of, any type of help that you're going to give to your family. You can't, because you're weak. You haven't put nothing in your system, so you're weak. You can't do anything to help them.
So let's keep going before I go back, and I'll come back to that here in a second. So it says 3 to 6 months. Here it is, starvation. Exposure and the spread of infectious diseases due to the lack of sanitation become the primary drivers of mortality. Again, power goes out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You have no water come into your house. Guess what? Diseases.
Yes. Yeah.
Sanitary.
Mm-hmm.
How often are people going to have supplies to clean themselves?
Yeah.
The 1-year mark, according to commission testimonies, the loss of supporting infrastructure means only about 10% of Americans will remain. Think of that. See, food, water, medicine, fuel, and communication. So we go back to that. And he had mentioned that, I asked, do you have a generator? Sure. Okay. What if, no, I didn't ask generator. I asked, okay, if the power goes out, how are you going to, your refrigerator, everything else? He goes, well, I got a generator. Okay, so what if there's no fuel? Well, I guess I can't do anything. Okay, so there's not a backup plan. There's not a solar plan. There's nothing there set up.
Stored energy.
See, you should have backup plan after backup plan after backup plan. And that's just for everybody. So let's keep going. Let me share something else with you. And we'll get into the man attempting to be God here in a second. Just bear with me, because I have a couple of videos, three videos of doing, or 2 videos of doing that. Lengthy videos. So let me go to this. If you can give me number 7. And this is another post, and this will be Walmart's new AI call system. I'm telling you, people, this is another thing that you have to be cautious about, making all these phone calls. I'm sure they already have it going on anyway with your own personal phone, of all the phone calls that you've already made. But if you look at this system and see what is actually being said here, Walmart updated their new AI call system for customers to call in. It now says this call and your voice may be recorded for quality or other business purposes. Your voice. It didn't say this call is being recorded. It said this call and your voice may be recorded for quality or other business purposes. You won't believe what their other business serves are. It is not limited to AI training. voice cloning datasets, emotion tracking, behavioral analysis, customer profiling, speech recognition systems. So when you call into Walmart, they are literally recording the store in your voice. It can possibly be used for things like voice cloning and more. Here are some of the more controversial uses: behavioral profiling, emotional detection, cross-linking voice data with customer profiles, long-term biometric storage, um, AI model training without clear opt-in transparency. You're literally just calling in to talk to customer service. Even worse, modern AI system can extract a lot more information from speech than people realize. Accent, emotional state, stress, probable age range. Uh, yeah, some of this, just give me a second. Speaking habits, identity likelihood, purchase intent, deception indicators, though these systems are often unreliable. Just think about just some of those. Emotional state. Think if AI wanted to use the emotional state. Oh, there's something wrong with that person. Let me go ahead and call law enforcement, go to their house. Because their emotional state of being may be bad that we have to go ahead and contact them. Some states have started to pass legislation to stop this, but it's still in the early stages, so companies are getting away with it. We can't stop these things from happening. If you don't want your voice to be recorded, don't use your phone. It's as simple as that. Now, who cannot use their phone?
Right.
People use it for business, for cause, and so on. Get right with God now. Jesus is coming for us before things get really crazy. I don't know about that part there. I do believe that things are going to get very crazy, yes, and probably extremely crazy, to the point that people are going to say, how much longer?
Yes.
Because the Bible clearly does state that man will fear, man will lose faith. It's going to get there. You just have to prepare. It's like the military standard that says prepare for war in time of peace. You're preparing for the worst and hoping for the best, right? Okay, we can get on that. And that well, anytime you prepare for the worst and hope for the best, then the worst may not come, but you've already prepared for it, right? Instead of saying, you know what, when the time comes, I'll prepare. Wrong. That is the worst thing anybody can ever do. It's like somebody saying, I'll lift 300 pounds when it comes to it. Guess what? You're not going to lift 300 pounds. Plain and simple. It's not going to happen unless you train for it. You're not going to run a marathon unless you train for a marathon. Have you watched marathon runners? Have you watched, whenever you watch a marathon race, that there's a lot of people that are falling out? A lot of people are getting medical attention. A lot of people are getting taken in the ambulance to the hospital. Why? Because they didn't prepare. They didn't train. They didn't get their mind and everything else ready for it. Some did, and they still had to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
Just think about it. Yeah. If you was to sit there and say, well, when the time comes, no. This is the time that we have God's grace to prepare. So let's keep going. Now, let me share some videos with you that it's going to show that. Let me share one more video first. If you can give me number 2. Again, this right here is showing you what is happening before the surveillance starts showing up. Before it gets to the point that they want that many in place. Just think about it. The water is the most important thing that is for survival.
Yes.
People need water. But right here is showing you what's happening.
With temperatures heating up after a rough winter, the Rio Grande may just be days away from drying up through the metro. News 13's Jessica Baron spoke with water managers about the unusual and earlier drying than in recent years.
It's the lowest I've seen the river in my tenure at the district this early in the year.
It's another startling sight along the Rio Grande through Albuquerque, with water managers saying we're facing a second straight year of dry riverbed much further north than typical.
This will be the third year that we have seen river channel drying in the Albuquerque Reach since the early 1980s. And the first time it happened was in 2022, and there was also river channel drying in 2025. In both of those years, that drying happened in July, and we're here in May seeing it.
At this time of the year, the river is usually starting to run dry far further south, around Socorro or Valencia County. Ann Markin with the Middle Rio Grande Conservancy District says the warm and dry winter left little snowpack, and above average temperatures in March means spring runoff from early snowmelt is already gone.
This year, there's never been a point in the season where there was enough water in the system to meet all of the irrigators' needs. And so irrigators have been having to wait extended periods between irrigation deliveries, and the crops are just not getting the water when they need it.
To meet the typical demands, the MRGCD says the river needs about 700 cubic feet of water per second coming in. But she says right now they're seeing less than half of that. She says the Metro's dry stretch of Rio Grande could become a trend.
I do think the drying in Albuquerque will become something that is a little more routine. It's something that we'll see probably nearly annually moving forward.
Jessica Barron, care.
There you go. And that's because those surveillance centers aren't placed everywhere in the amount that they want.
Right.
Supposedly they take a lot of water. Okay, so now let's get into man attempting to be God. If you can give me number 4, we're going to show you this post first, and then we're going to get to the lengthy video, and we're going to play parts of it. Just because I think it's 20 minutes. We don't have 20 minutes. So we're going to get into the parts that I believe are more important. But on this post right here, it's talking about chicks hatched from artificial eggs. Basically telling you that they don't need chickens in order to make eggs and to make birds. A Texas biotech company just hatched 26 live chickens from 3D printed artificial eggs with no shells and no hens. Think about that. First time in history, a complete bird embryo developed in fully artificial system, and that's just the warm up. Think about that. Without using the animals that God created,
Yeah.
man is thinking that they're going to create something out of nothing.
Yeah. So the question of what came first, the chicken or the egg? Neither with this AI technology.
Now, how true is this? We don't know. Are they possibly just bragging and saying that they did something and they didn't actually do it? I don't know. If they actually did it, what are the end results?
Right.
So think about it. If they actually did this, and now they're going to say this chicken can actually lay eggs, what type of eggs are people going to be eating?
That's a huge question, because if you're making, it's just like lab-grown meat.
Mm-hmm.
If you're making artificial chicks, what are they for? Why?
See, this group that is doing this, and I know it, 100% know it, they can't be Christians. They can't be followers of Jesus Christ and think that you're going to show God that you can create existence without Him. That you can create beings, that you can create animals without Him. No. It's never going to go good. Let me show you number 1. You can give me number 1. And in this video, it's going to, like I said, we're going to play parts of it. And on this video, you're going to hear him clearly state that they can control the sun. I'm sorry, but nobody can control the sun. And especially what he's thinking that he can actually control the sun. No. God is the only one that can control the sun and the moon and the stars and everything else. But on this, and just the things he says, and before he says it, I'll go ahead and tell you right now. He says it is cheaper to use his system than to go put fuel in your generator. I don't know which generator costs us $5,000 in fuel and be able to use within 30 minutes.
Well, you just said that, but what came to me was, does he know how much fuel's going to be?
Yeah, but it won't be 5,000. Yeah, it won't be, not even clearly to that. But let's go ahead and start.
building satellites. And then one day on a run, I put it all together and I realized that you can put a mirror in space and reflect sunlight down onto the dark side of the Earth. So just using a normal mirror, this actually should be slightly transparent, but just using a normal mirror, you can reflect sunlight from space down onto little spots on Earth. And the Russians, obviously, the Russians are always beating us to things. They actually did this in 1992. And they launched a large 20-meter reflector into space. And back then, there was only about 200 megawatts of solar around the world. So they saw this as a lighting market, not an energy market. And a lot of people have attempted space solar since then. Most of the ideas involve a large, giant solar panel and then beaming the power down with microwaves. We're doing it a bit differently. We're using essentially potato chip bags with slightly better plastic. It's just some shiny, thin plastic. Put that into a mirror when you pull it tight, and then reflecting that sunlight down onto existing solar farms. So we don't have to build ground stations. With the microwave power beaming, you have to do that. And then our satellites are also a lot simpler. So we kind of take a rapid building and testing approach where we make lots of things really quickly. Like, I come from that world with my previous builds and kind of came up with this concept to put a lot of just very simple satellites in orbit around the Earth in these rings and then beam sunlight down onto the existing solar farms. So the thing with this is you need to get enough power to a solar farm in order to actually turn it on. So one satellite is a certain amount of brightness, but you want to condense the sunlight. You want to get enough energy to match full noon power. And you can do that with a bunch of these small flat mirrors all working like a parabola. And basically each satellite is just pointing at the solar farm on the ground, and you can deliver more power. And it works just like this. You just keep adding more satellites and the spot keeps getting brighter. And each one of those spots is about as bright as the palm. It's about 5 kilometers in diameter. And when you're in the spot, it's going to be bright, but when you're outside of the spot, you'll just see the light on the ground, unless you're looking directly at the satellite on purpose. And we can put that 5-kilometer spot anywhere within an 800-kilometer diameter circle. So anywhere within that red circle, we can put our sunlight, and we can move it from one place to another within 30 seconds, just by rotating the satellite. It's basically like if you're out here and you're just pointing a hand mirror around, you're basically just moving that 5-kilometer spot. And it's that very precise spot. And when you're not in the spot, you won't see the satellite. So
Think about it. Isn't that what a flashlight's for?
Yeah.
If that is as bright as you're going to get it, I think I have flashlights that are brighter than that. But again, he's going to try to justify it.
Get it high up. So we put an 8-foot by 8-foot Mylar mirror on the bottom of a hot air balloon, and we reflected sunlight down onto my friend who was, had a measurement device. So we measured the irradiance, and then we also reflected sunlight down onto a small solar farm, and we measured the power. And on this graph, we did a square wave where we would turn it on for a little bit and then turn it off and then turn it on and then turn it off. And we were able to deliver very clear, measurable power. The graph's a little shaky because the hot air balloon is moving around a bit, but in space, things are quite smooth. But yeah, so this test was quite good. And then we raised a seed round from Sequoia Capital in April, and that's enough to build our first satellite. So we don't actually like to say satellite, we like to say first 100 square meters, because really it's about the amount of square meters of satellites that you have in space, because they're all working together and it's flexible, so you can kind of ignore the fact that they're satellites and just talk about the square meters of reflector. So we're launching our first 100 as soon as possible. And we're launching the satellite, and we were thinking like, okay, this is kind of like breaking even on fusion for the first time. This is going to be a big deal for the world. The first time anybody has seen something like this. I wonder if people want to buy it. Like, I wonder who wants to try it first. And you could think of like 50 people to call up, but really you're not going to see the world. Like, this is a global solution. We're flying around the entire Earth. We need to hear from customers exactly what they want. So we released a 15-second video on Twitter, and it got 55 million views across a bunch of reposts, and it was all over X and all sorts of places. And we ended up with 260,000 applications for our sunlight in just a couple of months from all around the world. And it was honestly incredible. We didn't expect anybody to really care about this. And people were saying ideas that we hadn't even thought about. A lot of people want to capture a moment in history with us. This is the first time that humanity is gaining control over the sun. It's on the scale of irrigation, like when we learned how to control water and move it around so we didn't have to wait for it to rain.
You don't control water. You just gather the water that you have and you move it around.
Yes.
You change plumbing and you're able to redirect water.
Yes, there you go, redirect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's basically what he's doing with the sun.
He's trying to redirect the sun. He don't control the sun.
No.
True. God, in fact, you can look at scripture and you see what God controlled. But let's go ahead and go. Let's go to the next clip then.
And get some more daylight. And some people reached out and they said, hey, I have this giant construction project and we can't work at night. So if you would allow us to work at night, it'll be moving twice as fast. And we got a number of those. And we got a number of people who are like, we work at night, but we do it with diesel lighting towers and generators that we constantly have to fuel up. And everybody hates that. It takes forever to fuel them up, and they're really expensive to keep running. So they can just call us down. They can say, hey, here's my construction project, and we can light it up. And we are dimmable from full moon to full noon, depending on how many satellites you want. So we can work with any OSHA requirements or anything. Or if you just need a small amount of sunlight for security lighting, we can do that as well. We got interest from mines.
Think at the cost. If it was $5,000 for 30 minutes, and I saw another one that it said that you would have to give an application and then you would have to bid on it with others. What? Yeah, you have to put your email, your phone number, your address. You have to put all your information in there and then tell them where you want it, what time you want it, and then you would have to place a bid and somebody can outbid you. Yeah, ain't that a way to make money? Right. Is that it? Okay, that was it. So I wanted to show you two different ones, the two major ones. The chicken part, and then I want to show you that they say that they can control the sun. I'm telling you, people, we are in biblical times where man thinks that they're above God. Yeah. Plain and simple. They're trying to be like God. And anytime man is trying to do that, it never turns out good. It doesn't. Now, let me share this other video. If you can give me number 6, I'm going to have Dora test this and see if she can change the oil and one of our vehicles, and I'm actually going to record her change, and she just looked at me like I don't think so, but I'm gonna have her change the oil in one of my vehicles, and I'm gonna record it. So go ahead.
Stopping it from where's the rag, Gene? It's spilling, Gene. Where's the rag?
Well, I thought you had a rag.
I can't get it now.
Oh, I can't get it. I thought you had all that.
I don't even know if it's not. Oh my God! Oh my God! Get out!
Oh my God, I got that on video.
Oh my God!
Oh my God, Santa, look what you did. Look what you did.
Funny. It's more funny hearing him laugh.
That's what I was going to say. It was funnier hearing him laugh because I think he was an older gentleman. Yeah. Just hearing him laugh that his wife thought she could do it, and then she just poured it all over herself. And now the cleanup.
Yeah, but the thing is that obviously she's never been out there watching him do it.
Nope.
I probably could do it, but I've seen him do it thousands of times. There's no way I would get under that oil pan to begin with.
And you don't try to hold it.
You don't try to hold it. There's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way.
You eyeball it, you move it where it's going to be at, and then you take the plug off, and then you just adjust it wherever it needs to go. Yes. That's it.
Exactly.
It's pretty simple.
And make sure you have a pretty good, decent oil pan.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we want to share something funny with you guys because we need to laugh. We need to have fun. We do need to prepare. We need to get right with the Lord.
Yes.
At the same time, we need to have some fun. We need to laugh. We need to enjoy it. We want to share with you that man is trying to be like God, and we can't do that. Yeah. And expose it and show it that is wrong. We can't create things. But if man is telling you they're creating chickens and creating all this, what else are they creating that we haven't seen yet?
Right, that we haven't seen yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So guys, we just want to share this with you. Of course, give us a thumbs up, share our videos, subscribe, follow, help us out. We need your help.
Yes. And thank you guys for joining us.